how we make sure that the systems are safe, for sure. I guess here, just to take the conversation in a somewhat different direction, I think in some of these debates around safety, I think the concepts of intelligence and autonomy, or like the being of the thing, as an analogy, they get kind of conflated together. And I think it very well could be the case that you can make something and scale intelligence quite far, but that may not manifest the safety concerns that people are saying, in the sense that, I mean, just if you look at human biology, it's like, all right, we have our neocortex is where all the thinking happens, right? And it's not really calling the shots at the end of the day. We have a much more, primitive old brain structure, for which our neocortex, which is this powerful machinery, is basically just a kind of prediction and reasoning engine to help it kind of, like our very simple brain, decide how to plan and do what it needs to do in order to achieve these like very kind of basic impulses. And I think that you can think about some of the development of intelligence along the same lines, where just like our neocortex doesn't have free will or autonomy, we might develop these wildly intelligent systems that are much more intelligent than our neocortex, have much more capacity, but are, the same way that our neocortex is sort of subservient and is used as a tool by our kind of simple impulse brain. It's, I think that it's not out of the question that very intelligent systems that have the capacity to think will kind of act as that is sort of an extension of the neocortex doing that. So I think my own view is that where we really need to be careful is on the development of autonomy and how we think about that. Because it's actually the case that relatively simple and unintelligent things that have runaway autonomy and just spread themselves, or, it's like, we have a word for that. It's a virus, right? It's, I mean, like, it's can be simple computer code that is not particularly intelligent, but just spreads itself and does a lot of harm, biologically or computer. And I just think that these are somewhat separable things. And a lot of what I think we need to develop when people talk about safety and responsibility is really the governance on the autonomy that can be given to systems. And to me, if I were, a policymaker or thinking about this, I would really want to think about that distinction between these, where I think building intelligent systems can create a huge advance in terms of people's quality of life and productivity growth in the economy. But it's the autonomy part of this that I think we really need to make progress on how to govern these things responsibly before we build the capacity for them to make a lot of decisions on their own, or give them goals or things like that. And I think that's a research problem, but I do think that to some degree these are somewhat separable things.
I love the distinction between intelligence and autonomy, and the metaphor with the neocortex.